How to collapse time and shift realities instantly. There's a reason why you clicked on this video. You're finally ready to change your life completely. The business that's not working right now that has a lot of trouble will be fixed by the end of this video. A car you always wanted, the house you always wanted, the family you always wanted, the SP that you love but doesn't love you back. Watching this video, you will understand how to get everything in life. But first, you have to be open. You have to be open to this information and you to accept it as truth. And once you do, life will get easier. Opportunities will rise. Everything you thought was confusing and difficult becomes extremely easy. So subscribe to this channel, comment down below your current 3D. I want to know what's happening in your life right now. And contact me for one-on-one because I know I can help fix every single one of your problems. Anything you want will be done. So what is time collapse? In school, we learned about this graph here. So we have a line, we have an arrow pointing towards something. Let's call it the future. This here is the present moment. Here is the future. And here is the past. This is what they've been teaching us in school. That this here is the present, that we have our past, our memories in the past, and there is the future. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is that your entire life, they lied to you. There is no past, there is no future, and the only moment that truly exists is the now moment. There's only the now moment that truly exists. I'm gonna explain to you how this is possible. So first, the past. Can anybody show me where the past actually is? Can you go to the past? Can we see the past? You can remember the past, you can take videos of the past, but can we truly go to it? The answer is no. So the past doesn't exist. Okay, that's one thing. But then we have the future. Can you show me the future? Can you take me to that future? No, because it doesn't exist. So the future doesn't exist and the past doesn't exist. Why is this important? It's because your identity has been formed in the past. You have these subconscious beliefs about who am I? Who am I as a person? What do I want? Who do I like? Where I want to live? Who do I surround myself with? All of that is being formed in your identity. And this is what everybody has the same problem because they believe that some trauma in the past that's not letting us change our lives. They're not letting us enter or shift different kinds of realities. So how do you get rid of trauma? Well, you go to a therapist and then you don't go to the shaman, you go to a priest and then you talk about your trauma and then you fix your trauma. And that's what everybody says, but it never works. If you actually talk to a psychologist, they're gonna tell you they never helped anybody. They truly never helped anybody. So how do we fix this? How do you fix trauma? Simply, don't identify with your trauma anymore. Don't identify with the story. So what you do is cut off this part. This whole line doesn't exist anymore. It's not here. So there's nothing in the past that can actually stop you or that's hindering you or like there's some blocks that you have. The blocks don't exist. The negative beliefs can't exist from the past because there was no past moment where you could have started to believe in them. So there's nothing in the past that can stop you from getting the thing that you want. Okay. But then what about the future? Oh, the anxiety. What am I gonna do with my life? Who am I gonna be? What are my parents gonna say? What is my boss gonna say? How am I gonna manage my company? What am I gonna do about my workers, my co-workers? Do I have enough money to live? What job am I gonna do? Where am I gonna live? Who's gonna be my partner? All of that, all those thoughts create one thing that is extremely dangerous for everybody. So it creates anxiety, and because of that anxiety, you're scared in the now. And all of your thoughts about the future are hindering your current moment. They're not letting you choose what you truly want to do because you're worried about what's going to happen, about what people are going to tell you when you actually do the thing that you truly want to do. So, to make it easier for you to actually solve all of your problems is to erase the potential of any future. There's nothing in the future anymore that can happen. So what now? How do you live? What is your reality then? There's no future, there is no past. So what can you do then? The only thing you could do is live in the now. You start living in the now moment by becoming present inside of it. Now, second thing, we gotta talk about reality. What is even reality? What are we talking about? What is this? What is this experience? Reality is just your perspective of life itself. That's it. Just one perspective of how life works, how existence works. So, how do we create, we don't create, but how do we create reality? So how does it actually form? Reality is actually a mirror. My mirror is ugly, I do know that. And my stick figure, it's gonna be even uglier. So, how does it work? Whatever lies inside of the mirror will be your reality. So when you physically, right now, when you stand in front of a mirror, what do you see? You see yourself, right? So the mirror of reality will reflect whatever it sees. So if it sees you as a happy person, let's call it, if you're happy and joyous and happy-go-lucky, then the mirror picture of you will be happy. But if you're a sad person, if the mirror is looking at a person who's absolutely sad, has bad thoughts, has depression, has nightmares, has negative feelings about other people themselves, it's gonna reflect back to you. So, the mirror itself creates the reality. So that means whatever is happening to you internally, your internal state is reflected on the external reality. So how would you use this to shift and change your reality? Instead of trying to somehow reach for the mirror and try to change that mirror inside picture in the mirror itself, you change yourself internally, you align as a new person, and then you shift realities. You shift to something else. Now, this is where a lot of people have a lot of trouble, and I've been seeing this everywhere, where what people think is that once you start becoming happy, when you're happy, and the mirror shows you're happy, you get more opportunities. It's like they believe that the universe itself changes around you. It's like I believe that. I believe there was like a domino effect. I even talked about that in my video where also the bridge of incidence, same thing, never got it. They believe it's a bridge of incidence where the universe then conspires for your reality to be that. So let's say you're unhappy, you're poor, and you don't have an SO, you don't have anybody next to you, that's your current reality. And then you change your state, you say to yourself, I'm the best, I make millions, I am wealthy, everybody is attracted to me, I know how to talk to people. And when that happens, people believe that the universe starts connecting people to you, then stuff happens, and you do this and that happens, and no, that cannot be the truth. Why? Why is that not the truth? Think about it, come on. I want you to truly think why the bridge of incidence can't exist. It's because of the thing we just talked about earlier. It's about time. There is no future and there is no past. And the bridge of incidence is telling us that something is forming into the future, and because it's forming into the future, something eventually will become in the future. You will become that in the future, and you will get that in the future. But there is no future. There is no time. The only moment we have is now. So the bridge of incidence can't really exist. So the only thing that could exist is the now moment. So what actually happens? If it's not in the future, it's not a process of the world changing around me and people changing around me, what is it? What happens? This is where we talk about, I didn't even need to erase that, but I'm gonna write it again, I don't care. So we're not physically changing our current reality. What we're actually doing is we're shifting to a different reality. How does this look and how is this even possible? Well, let's go back to the timeline. So we talked about the timeline, right? So the timeline is like this again, past, present, future, okay? The problem is I have to backtrack right now to explain to you how even time exists, like how do we even get to this part. Once you do get it truly, again, once you do understand what I'm about to show you, and this is the crucial part, this is the most crucial part you will need to know. When you start to understand this, you'll be able to shift into any reality that you want. You'll be able to control your life how you want. Not control actually, but just shift into the reality that you want. First, we have to talk about different dimensions. So everybody is talking about the 3D, so the third dimension. But first, before the 3D, we have the first dimension. So if you went to school, if you can understand this part, is that how does the first dimension look like? The first dimension is just one single dot. So this is the 1D. Okay. This is the oneness of everything. Everything that ever existed is put into one single dot. Okay, that's the oneness. But then we got the second dimension. And this dot, instead of being just a flat dot, it actually became a line. The second dimension creates a line. The third dimension creates space. So instead of just a line, we actually get, I'm gonna butcher this drawing, but I don't care. I don't really care about it, but I'm gonna try to care about it as much as I can. This is kind of it. So imagine this is a cube. We got a 3D cube. But not only that, with space comes time. So this graph here plus 3D space, we get 3D space and time. Okay, and this is where we are right now, the 3D reality, where we have time and space and stuff like that. But how do we have time when I told you we don't have time? Time exists only in the 3D. But the problem is, or the thing is, we're not 3D beings. We're way higher. We're actually way higher. I think there's about like 15 different dimensions. And if you believe what I believe, that you're at the top. We are already at the top. Because normally what people say that there's like an evolution of the soul where you have to go through reincarnation and cycles and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but that's only true if time doesn't exist. That's only true if time exists. So in the future dimensions, time doesn't work like a linear line. It works differently. I'm gonna explain it to you in a second. You gotta be patient with me. Why are you rushing? Why are you rushing? This is very important. So, 3D cube, space, 15 more dimensions, but we're not gonna talk about the 15 dimensions. We're gonna talk about the fourth dimension. We're gonna stop there because anything more would be too complicated to talk about in this video. In the future, I will make a video talking about how to master the fifth dimension. And with mastering the fifth dimension, life becomes an autopilot. Everything is easy mode. Everything you want is yours. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Because the more people see this, the more I'm gonna faster just make more videos because I want people to know more about this. That's it. But subscribe because you want to be notified about the new video about the 5D, and 5D is the key. So, fourth dimension. With this part, it gets more complicated. I can't even draw it, but the cube becomes a fourth dimension cube thing. We can't see it because we live in the 3D right now. Our bodies are in the 3D, but we're not 3D beings because of our soul. But not only does the cube change and levels up, let's call it, but time does too. And this is where everything changes. So instead of having one line of time, what actually happens is actually get multiple different timelines. We have multiple different past, present, and futures. So instead of you trying to impact, so let's say this is the present again, instead of you trying to impact this timeline here, trying to fix stuff, physically do something, and try to force it somehow, instead of doing this, you know what we're gonna do that's gonna be way easier? Let's just switch to a different timeline. We already have the thing that you want, where you're happy. Instead of forcing to and trying to fix this part of the equation of your timeline, just jump into a timeline where everything is done, everything you want, you already have it, and then there's nothing for you to do anymore because you already have everything that you want. But then it begs the question, how do we jump timeline? George, I never done this. I never jumped the timeline. How do you do this? How does anybody do this? First thing first, you're always jumping the timeline. There hasn't been a single moment in your life where you haven't jumped timelines. It's not like people have this like conspiracy theory where like CERN creates like a, from the, where the company CERN creates like a molecule thingy, and I don't care about it. You can read about it, but people who say that CERN started a new timeline, we entered a new time, no. Every single moment, you're actually jumping timelines. You're choosing a different now moment. Every single time is a now moment. In reality, the 3D is a series of now moments connected together instantly. That's the whole point. But the now moments are always different. But because of our perception, because of our left brain, we believe that there's a time flow. That when I move my hand, time actually moves. When I start to dance, it goes cool and goes good. Yeah, it's our perception. It's the left brain that needs a process. It's logical. It tells you, oh, we got time. There's a flow. There's a past. There's a future. That's the left brain that's telling you that. But it just doesn't understand reality. That's the problem. It doesn't understand 4D thinking and then 5D thinking unless you start to understand it on your own. And when you do, then it helps you understand everything else. So you're always shifting. You're always going to different timelines. You're always changing. But the difference is now you can consciously change into the timeline that you want to go in. Because before, you've been living in autopilot. You had your subconscious, your past was imprinting your memories. You have a lot of memories, and all the bad memories and the good memories are mushing together, and then you're forming beliefs because of those memories. And some people got lucky if they had like good memories with good people, and then had luck because their subconscious mind is creating a good reality for them. But most people have like very bad people around them who just don't know what they're doing with their lives. And because of that, they got like subconscious blocks, subconscious problems, trauma, stuff like that. And when you live automatically, just let your subconscious control your life, what happens is you get a shitty life. It's horrible. It's so bad. You don't like it. Nothing goes your way. Nothing ever good happens. Nobody told you how to get a good life, how to actually change realities. And you're stuck here. You were stuck here until now. But now you know, or at least you're going to learn how to do this. And once you know, you can do whatever you want. You can just choose whatever you want. So how do we shift? How do you consciously shift? Because normally it's subconscious. You're subconsciously shifting every single moment. But how do you consciously shift? Now we're going to talk about the biggest power you have, and that is the power of your focus. So whatever you focus on, you actually create. So how do I get the future or the life that I want right now? Instead of trying to fix the things and thinking about the problems you have this moment, you choose a solution that you want. So how does this look like? So instead of, again, you working on this, working on the problems, working on this timeline and how to fix it, let's just jump into a timeline where everything is cool. Cool. I love the word cool because it's very hot in this room right now. It's summer. But everything is cool here. Why? because I chose it. The biggest power you have is your focus. When you focus on the end goal right now, you get it. So instead of trying to think of a way, how do I fix my business? How do I make 10K a month? How do I make 100K, $1 million? How do I do this? Instead of thinking about the how and the problem of you getting that or the process of it, you just say to yourself, I am the $1 million version of me. I am the 100K version of me. I'm the version of me who has this specific person with them. You're married to them. So instead of trying to fix your relationship with them, you just choose that you're married and you shift it to a timeline where you are married to that person. So how do you do this again? You still don't know. Focus by using your third eye. So you need to start using your third eye. So what is your third eye? You've been hearing this term probably a lot of times, but what does that actually mean? It's your imagination. It's when you close your eyes and you can physically, vividly see the images inside of it. Or you can even do that while your eyes are open. If you ever watch like Disney cartoons or like Disney movies and shows, there's like times where they have like flashbacks, right? Where you just like, you look at their past. It's the same thing here. So you can, even while your eyes are open, you can vividly see stuff if you want. So you can just ignore your eyesight and actually see some images or movies and stuff like that. So the whole point is to focus on that image or that movie or that scene of you already having the thing that you truly want. And then you embody it. You focus on it. Don't think about it as in future tense, like, oh, in the future, I can see myself as a millionaire, as having a beautiful family. The problem with doing that is telling yourself you're going to have something in the future says to the mirror, I don't have the picture of the mirror here, says to the mirror that you don't have it now. So the best strategy is remembering. Start to have the feeling of remembering that image. So say to yourself, oh, I remember when I was a millionaire. Like, I remember these millions and millions of dollars. So you know that it's already done. There's nothing else to do about it. You just remember that it was awesome. You remember, you have the feeling. So you look at that picture, you feel it, smell it, enjoy it, and then you let it go. And the more times you do this, the easier you will imprint your subconscious, your left brain, to actually start thinking and knowing that that is the truth. And once you accept that as the truth, that this is the new version of you, you shift. Now, for some people, it's going to be instantly, because it all depends. How fast can you truly believe and know that what you're thinking is the truth? Once you accept it, it's done. That's why right brain people, for them, it's a lot easier to manifest because they don't think about the process. They don't think about anything. They just want to do something and they actually do it and they actually get it and that's it. Well, the person who has a left brain wants to know the entire process. And when you want to know the entire process, it takes a long time to actually make you believe that it's true. That's why mental images help. When you remember you being a millionaire, or having a fit body, or being this, being that, having this, you imprint your subconscious, you believe that it's true through repetition, and then you shift. You just one day wake up, life changed. You won't notice it because there's nothing to notice. Because if you are who you said you are, you wouldn't notice the past. You wouldn't say, oh wait, yesterday I had like 20 pounds more and now it's 20 pounds less. You wouldn't say that because the version of you who already is 20 pounds lighter never had 20 pounds more to begin with. You will never notice the shift. You will never know that you shifted. There's no moment that it happens. Sometimes people do remember, but it's very hard to happen. I didn't see too many people who actually know what happened. Some people can discern it, but most people don't. Most people just live their lives as nothing happened, but everything changed. And this is the reason when I say manifest anything instantly, this is the reason you can't really spawn anything into reality. Like I can't right now this moment show you that I'm a super buff and strong guy because we're in this timeline, we're in this reality. And in this reality, there's a version of me who's like super buff and I have a beard and stuff like that. But I can't drag you guys with me in this timeline. I'm the only one who can go in this timeline for myself. That's why I can never show you what's happening here. I can never change in this timeline because this is me in this timeline. This is the version of me in this timeline you're looking at. But in this version, in this timeline, I'm a different person. So I can't physically show it to you. I can only mentally show it to you. That's gonna be it here for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy. Hopefully you learned something new. I know there's a lot of life-changing stuff you just heard, and I know it's gonna help you, but you need to accept it. You need to know that it's true, and it's finally time to take control of your life. But when I say take control, don't try to manipulate every single little thing. If you try that, you're gonna go crazy. Trust me, I know it. So see you in the next video.